Yeah, I think the other day concerning the UFC, I saw some things I wanted to see, which as humans we're all guilty of, whether it's choosing relationships since we were about 11 on through, or when not to drink, or when to stop drinking, or put down that funny cigarette, or start smoking, whatever. Um, I definitely, um, the UFC is real. The fights themselves are real. They're not staging any of that crap. And the Colby Covington guy, who's Trump's guy, and Trump was there, he looked slow, didn't care. When they didn't care, excuse me, he was outclassed. He's too old for the division. And not hearing anything, turn up volume, it says. What does it say that? Uh, go back to audio settings. Oh, we're in a good spot. That's where we want it. And y'all might not have been able to see that when I bring it up. But the Colby Covington thing was real. Now I'm going to tell you this. So if this 296 isn't about the eve and tomorrow's the event, or Monday at the latest, really, we're still looking at the 20th, still looking at the 24th, and then I like 27th, 28th range. Um, but think about UFC 296, and that's Eve. And then what is 297? Well, 97th verse is when Jesus opens the seals. Then there's UFC 298 in February. Well, 98th verse is the rider on the white horse. So that pushes us, I think, just after the Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl could be that big ritual. UFC 298. Not saying it would happen at UFC 298, but when you're getting around that range, it's February 17th. So it's the Saturday after the Sunday Super Bowl. Sunday Super Bowl's on the 11th, and then the big pay-per-view. So, okay. So that Super Bowl, Groundhog Day, there's so many ciphers, um, which are nothing more than clues or languages how to figure something out. But at least when I talk out loud with y'all about it, there's different ways to look at it. Y'all are seeing different ways to look at it. So anyway, I should start sounding better soon because I'm not coughing up any more phlegm, few and far between. So whatever's in my chest is going to slowly come out. The storm wasn't at all what we thought it would be, which is fantastic news. But a big storm did come through, and you could hear the winds, and I know we got a lot of rain, but it wasn't um, as heavy of a rain as we were expecting, nor I don't think any tornadoes, nor any electricity out. So that was a good thing. But I've been hearing that wind howling all night, and I know it's raining. And raining and raining. But I can open this window. You can hear it. Can y'all hear that? Lift up my microphone. Sounds like you're at the ocean. And it's calming, but there was a big gust that came through a second ago. But yeah, I don't know how many more events Trump will be at. It's hard to say. They could always be. He might be like at UFC 300, which is the big one. We know about the movie 300, and I think that's April 13th. UFC 300 date set April 13th. That is the day that the Lord started to turn my life around. where it's still in my Facebook memories and all that, that I quit astrology on that day after watching the Know Your Enemy series. And on 3/11 last year, when my Mayday friend turned the first 5 digits of Trump and I's combined number days old, 33 days later, I turned the next set of 5 digits of Trump and I's combined number days old. And that was on April 13th also. And then 33 days after that was the total lunar eclipse. So we do track that everything. Guess what? It lands on the total solar eclipse on April 8th. Here comes some wind, I think. Gust. So I'm definitely watching the tree, move about, and hearing the wind. I've been hearing it for hours. So there it comes. It's a definite tropical storm without the tropic because the Gulf temperatures were not 80 degrees, so it can't be a tropical storm. But when this glass sliding door cracked open, about 7 or 8 inches, I don't feel any cold at all, so it's definitely warm here. Anyway, I was just kind of running my mouth until a big gust came up. Michael was like, "Is there even a storm coming?" I'm like, "Yeah, they never fake storms. There's too many people that live in these areas. But, if there's a fire in California, they'll tell you how it started, and we think it might have started another way, of course. Anyway, love y'all."